If you've ever dug through old military gear or flipped through wartime manuals, you already know soldiers didn't carry anything unnecessary. Weight meant fatigue, and fatigue meant danger. So when you find a piece of kit that every soldier guarded like gold, it deserves a closer look. Today, we're talking about one of the most overlooked, underrated, yet incredibly effective pieces of World War II cold weather gear. The jacket insert that outperformed standard wool blankets in real frontline conditions. Before we dive in, make sure you're subscribed to the Prepper Historian so you don't miss deep-cut military history that most channels never touch. What you're about to learn isn't trivia. It's field-tested knowledge with real survival value. The story begins with troops freezing in places the generals underestimated. During World War II, soldiers fought in climates wildly different from what quartermasters expected. It wasn't just the brutal cold of the Ardennes or the Russian winter. Troops froze in North Africa at night, on Italian mountainsides, and even in the Pacific Highlands. Standard-issue wool blankets were bulky, absorbed moisture, and performed poorly in damp environments. Soldiers needed something lighter, smaller, and dramatically warmer. That's where the insulated jacket insert, often referred to as the pile liner or shearling insert, changed the game. This wasn't an accessory. It became a lifesaver. The jacket insert used materials that trapped heat more efficiently than wool ever could. Wool works by trapping air within its fibres, but once it gets damp, its insulation drops fast. The World War II insert used either synthetic pile or real sheepskin, depending on the model and supply chain. Pile fabric looked simple, almost crude, yet it created trapped air pockets far deeper than wool fibres. This means the soldier's own body heat warmed the air and held it there, even when conditions were wet. The result was a microclimate inside the jacket that wool blankets couldn't match. Soldiers who experienced both routinely wrote home, saying the insert was the warmest thing the army ever gave them. The brilliance was in how it layered inside the field jacket without adding bulk. The M-43 field jacket system allowed the pile liner to button directly inside as part of a modular setup. This meant no flapping layers, no shifting fabric, and no carrying extra weight outside the main gear. The insert held heat close to the torso, which is the part of the body that matters most for survival. When your core temperature drops, your chances of frostbite skyrocket. When your torso stays warm, everything else works better. Hands function longer, decision-making stays sharp, and movement stays smoother. Soldiers who used the insert in the Ardennes during the Battle of the Bulge credited it with keeping them functional in temperatures that crippled units without proper layering. When we look at Second World War equipment, it's easy to, romanticize wool blankets because they look traditional and rugged. But the jacket insert, well, it teaches a more important lesson. Sometimes the best survival tools aren't the obvious ones. Layering your core is actually more effective than just piling on external bulk. If you're building a modern cold weather kit, the wartime insert really proves that a lightweight, high-loft inner layer is far more valuable than a heavy outer blanket. Most modern fleece and synthetic loft materials, they follow the exact same principle the wartime designers discovered. In fact, you can recreate the Second World War insert method with a fleece jacket under a windproof shell today. And honestly, you'll outperform a blanket every time. A smart historian always pays attention to how troops actually used gear, not just how it was intended. Soldiers slept in these inserts, wrapped them around their feet like improvised boot warmers, stuffed them under shirts, or even paired them with ponchos for nighttime sentry duty. Some infantrymen even turned damaged inserts into makeshift sleeping bag liners by sewing the cut edges shut. This adaptability really shows you exactly why the design was so effective. Warmth first, bulk second, and, well, versatility, always. If you want to apply this today, just take the same mindset. Step 1. Always insulate your core. Step 2. Pick materials that maintain loft when wet. Step 3. Integrate your insulation inside your shell layer, not outside. That's how troops survived nights that civilians couldn't endure. The historical value really lies in understanding how small innovations shape survival. People tend to focus on big-ticket items, rifles, tanks, doctrines, but survival gear is what kept soldiers in the fight long enough to use those weapons. The jacket insert is a reminder that history isn't just battles won or lost. It's about the gear that kept ordinary men alive when nature tried to kill them faster than the enemy could. Studying it gives you a deeper appreciation for the logistical brilliance behind the war effort and the improvisational skill of the soldiers who depended on it. Collectors and reenactors still chase original inserts because they work. Unlike many WWII items, the insert hasn't lost its practicality. Reproduction M-43 liners still get used by winter hikers, bushcrafters and historical reenactors because they work with a simplicity that modern gear sometimes overcomplicates. There are reports even today of reenactors sleeping in sub-freezing temperatures, wearing nothing but the liner under a shell, staying warm enough to avoid discomfort. That's proof of design, not nostalgia. In the end, this jacket insert earned its reputation the hard way, on frozen ground under enemy fire. When you study WWII, you learn fast that nothing earns respect unless it performs. The jacket insert didn't just outperform wool. It reshaped how armies approached cold weather gear for decades. The modern ECWCS fleece layers used by today's troops trace their origins straight back to this humble WWII's innovation. If you found this breakdown valuable and you want more deep-dive history that actually teaches you something useful, make sure you subscribe to The Prepper Historian and share this video with other serious history buffs. The more we explore overlooked gear like this, the better equipped we all become, both as students of history and practitioners of real-world preparedness.